can get across to you that I care about you, that I love you, I want to help you. Friend of mine, that's what I want to do. And glory to God. I was pastoring in Shelton, Washington years ago. And when I first went there in the church, the guy, he done some very silly stuff. You know, he gets the pictures, he goes back and gets the ball, all that kind of stuff. I get a little bit radical, but not like that. And anyway, the church wasn't too good a shape. Glory to God. But in the first 3 weeks, without an evangelist, we had 21 people get saved. You know, and we had a number of Indians get saved. And the number one man that had started the Squaxin tribe back in the 40s, he came up to me. He was my Bible teacher. He put his arm around me and he said, Brother Randall, he said, you want to know why you've had such good success with the Indian folks here? Oh, yeah, I want to know. Lord, I'm human. I want to know. And he said, well, you know, I'm getting all puffed up here. He's going to tell me something great. I'm over to God. He said, well, you're not the best preacher we ever had. You know, butter you up and stick a pin in your groin. I'm over to God. My ego went, whoa. He said, you're not the best preacher we've ever had. We've had some good slick tongues, using words that we didn't understand. You know, preachers, but we were never convinced that they truly cared about us. But these folks believe you honestly really care about them. That's why they're coming in. That's why they're here. Thank God for that. That's better than being the best preacher in the county. Oh, I feel the Holy Ghost in this place. I'm talking about how do you affect those around you? You can if you want to. People say, well, I'm who I am. They have to take me as I am. No, we don't. Glory to God. The Bible said that old things are passed away, all things have become new. You're a new creature in Christ Jesus. You're not your own anymore. You've been bought with a price. You belong to God. Your will is not your will. It's God's will. And I don't have to take you like you are. If you're still like you are, you haven't been washed in the blood of Jesus Christ. You haven't found that place of commitment in God, friend of mine. You haven't found that love one to another. Oh, glory to God. Oh, I feel the power of God in this place. And glory to God tonight. I just want to relate some experiences to you tonight. Friend of mine. And glory to God. Oh, I feel the Lord. And praise the Lord tonight. Friend of mine, I want to tell you that if you know Jesus Christ the way you should, and you've really been dipped in the blood, you've really been cleansed by the power of God, and friend of mine, you'll realize you're not what you were. And glory to God, you realize it is not your will anymore, but it's God's will. You see, God checked me many years ago. When I got saved, I had a hot, fiery temper. You wouldn't know it now. I've had people say, well, you know, ask my wife, has he always been this easy and mild and all that? Don't talk to my boys. But now I've been saved all their life, so they don't know a lot about it. But nevertheless, over the top. You know, used to, my wife would say, so and so said this, or somebody did that. Say, well, we'll see about that. You know, over the God. God moved on me one day when I said, well, we'll see about it. And then I said, I don't know. What we're going to do is we're going to go pray about it. We're going to talk to God about it. We're going to see what God has to say about it. And whatever God has to say about it, that's going to be all right, whether I like it or not. And glory to God. Friend of mine, God's doing it. I'm for it. I don't care. I told some of the folks in camp meeting, they was discussing, about some of us that, we have retired, and there was another preacher that was helping get some strivings, as helping. Well, it's like this. When we're at home or we're outside, or like the pastor said when we was traveling, I say whatever I want to. I talk to him however. I try to be nice about it, but nevertheless, he's the son, I'm the dad. Remember that. Glory to God. And when I step through that door, he's the boss. Don't make any difference whether I like what he's doing or not. We're going to do it that way anyway. And they said, wow. I said, that's what God said. He said, be subject to those that have a rule over you in the Lord. I've always done that, and I'll keep on doing that as long as I'm doing. Someone asked me, said, well, how you liking retirement? I said, what are you talking about, retirement? I'm busy now as I was then. I'm over to God, don't preach quite as much, but I'm out there doing it. I'm doing funerals and weddings and witnessing and talking to people and working in the church and helping anybody that I can that will let me. Glory to God. I just think doing the job as pastor, but I'm far from retired. I may be retarded, but I'm busy. Glory to God. A friend of mine, we can move on. There's forgiveness and tolerance and how you treat someone else. Glory to God. It doesn't matter. A lot of folks say, and that's what I told the people in the neighborhood. That's what I told the bloggers and guys up there. I said, those folks, those bad ones that are drinking and they're causing trouble and they're using bad language, they're doing dope, even some prostitution. I said, you know what? They're just people like you and me. I said, the thing of it is, instead of condemning and criticizing and judging what we do to do, we don't get involved with what they're doing. We get involved with their life. And glory to God, we begin to talk to them. We begin to fellowship with them. Oh, hallelujah to God. How you going to win them if you don't get next to it? Glory to God. You see, years ago, and you never know, like the pastor told you about when we stopped at Union, at Sherry's. We didn't know what was in that lady's heart or what she needed, and I found that out many times. I did that more than once. And I used to carry the pins that you get from the pen company. Glory to God, National Pen Company. I've got one or two now. But they don't say what I want them to say. Glory to God. I used to get those that with calendars would pull out the side. And when I talk to them, I say, I'd like to give you something. I get one of them. And when they see the calendar and all that, well, they've never seen one like that before. They get excited. And then you can start talking to them. And the manager Sherry's and Coeur d'Alene, we have a couple of pictures. I give some of those pins there. One of the waitresses talked to them and finally get on to the manager. And she come and sat down beside of my wife and we took pictures with her. They look like sisters. A friend of mine, how do you affect those around you? A friend of mine, you can get a method of doing things that you can affect other people's lives. I just told somebody recently, I think it was in the doctor's office or the hospital or somewhere. I said, I don't remember what I said, but they were talking about it. I said, I found out a long time ago, you need to say things or do something when you meet people that will cause them to remember you. Glory to God. You can cause them to remember you. I told one person, I said, you may not like me. You may not care for me. You may not even want to be around me, but you'll never forget me. Glory to God, because I'm going to affect your life. Glory to God. A friend of mine. I don't care whether you like me or not. You're not going to forget me. Praise God. I'll see to that. Praise the Lord. Well, I don't know. I got 3 messages here, but I'm only going to preach one of them. Praise God. You know, in John 13:35, he said, by this shall all men know that you are my disciples, and you have one, if you have love one to another. Glory to God. A friend of mine, he said, that's the way people's going to know that you know me, is if you have love one to another. And how can people know that I love God and that I'm his disciple if I go around grumbling and complaining and criticizing everything that my neighbor, my friends around me do? A friend of mine, I need to be lifting you up, talking good about you, praying for you. Oh, hallelujah to God. Keep on keeping God before you. A friend of mine, glory to God. After the wedding, I wound up with 2 of those families are on my Facebook. And I don't know what'll ever come of it, but I know one thing, I'm going to keep pushing the point. I'm going to keep pressing in. I'm going to keep in contact with them. And I expect one day some of them will wind up in church. Glory to God. You know, the daughters, when they came over to ask me if I'd do the funeral, and they let me know that their uncle he was retired. He just retired this year. But he was the pastor of the Church of Christ out in Sutherland. And that he would be a little ticked because they didn't ask him to do the funeral. And they said that we don't care. He's our uncle, but our mama talked about you more than anyone else. We think you ought to do the funeral. And I said, well, I didn't want to cause problems, you know, but I will do the funeral because I liked your mother. You know, dealt with her, a friend of mine. What I'm telling you, each one of us will affect the community where we live. Pretty soon, we won't have enough room here to hold everybody. Glory to God. And I told the pastor, I said, I'm not getting real excited. I'm not going to run out and do it just any time now, but because he's got projects going that we're working on. I said, you know, I read a statistics, and it was one of our Church of God preachers, and I know him real well, and from headquarters, and he said, the survey shows that 80% of the people that was surveyed said they had never been invited to church. And 80% of them said if they had, they probably would have went. And I said, I don't believe that statistics. He said, well, yeah. And I said, I don't believe it. I said, I don't think it's correct. Because me and my family and your pastor helped. When he was little, he come home all upset. But what's the matter? He said, not a one of those people slammed the door in my face. He was waiting for him to slam the door in his face because he's inviting them to church. And you know what? We didn't get a one of those people in church. We hit 400 or 500 homes. Didn't get a one of them. Although the church grew, people came in from other places that we didn't witness to, that we didn't invite. I said, what I think we need to do, we need to get a team of about 10 people in twos, but of course he got this other deal going. We need to get those deals back there that it's got the church address and everything on the phone number. And we need to spread out, and we need to hit at least 100 homes and just go knock on the door and say, well, we're taking a survey. People say that, you know, that they had never been invited to church, and they had them on a went here. We want to give you a written invitation to the Church of God and do it. And then you leave it there. If they want to talk about it, go ahead and talk to Don't go on to the next door. We're not Jehovah's Witnesses. Don't bug them. Don't bug. And you know, but oh, I feel God in this place. Glory to God. I think it's over the way. I'll lead the team. Glory to God. As the Bible says, practice what you preach. If you're gonna, I told one fellow, don't tell me to do it if you're not going to do it. If you're not going to show me how, you're not going to lead me, don't tell me about it. Don't tell me to do it. But if you'll say, I'll show you how to do it, I'll be right there with you. I'm glory to God. Oh, I feel the Lord in this place. So you can affect those around about you. And I got so many illustrations, and I got half a dozen pages of notes, and I'm still on the first one, but I'll quit in a bit. Glory to God. You know, Romans 12 and 10 said, "Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, prefer one another." Do you put your brother first? Do you put those around you first? Glory to God. I give people money that I needed, you know, but they needed it, so I gave it to them. Has God ever let me down? Never. You know, one time I remember I went to the post office and I was going to buy, I only had enough money for a half a payment. And so I told the lady what I wanted, gave her the money. She gave me the money order. Is what all needed? So I went back to try to correct it. She said, "Then you can correct that. That's done. That's government stuff. You got to leave it like it is." So I made my payment. When I was pastor there in the town of Washington, we were working in the 6th Street Mission. We preached there about every other night, and we'd help the workers. And in fact, they even put us up when we was evangelizing the feds. You know, and that's another way that when you affect people, you help people, they'll help you back. Glory to God. But anyway, we had a payment due, and I had just half enough to make that payment. It was like, $50 or so. Me and my wife went to the mission that night. They give us a call for the money they need, and I just gave them the $50. I said, I can't make the payment anyway. We can take a half a payment. Here, I give it to God. When I walked out the door, a lady shook hands with me, and when I looked in my hand, it was $100 bill. I could pay. That was a friend of mine. God won't let you down. You know, a few years ago. I'm talking about how we affect other people. A few years ago, I was preaching a revival in Pocatello, Idaho, and I had to go from there to Wallace, Idaho, which was about 450 miles. I was driving a Chevette, and it did go a long ways on the tank of gas, but I only had $18. I was trying to sell all my furniture. I was about evangelizing, and none of it wouldn't sell to get the money so I could do that. And so they were in revival. Brother Rody was the evangelist. Some of you may know him. He's here somewhere in Oregon. Anyway, he had to close, and he had to leave. And the people said they did. And but just before that, we need those things to happen today. God began to speak, and people give the message in tongues and interpretation. And the message was, if you have a need, come forward quickly. And I started out on my seat. But a young lady had asked me, said, there's a person here, and I know who it was, and I ain't going to tell you. Said, they want me to ask you if you could loan them $10. Well, I don't lend me $8. And I had 400 and some miles to go. And I said, well, I can't do it because, I'm going to leave here Monday and head for Wallace. And God spoke to me loud and clear. And he said, that individual don't know me, but you know me, and you say you trust me. Why wouldn't you give him? Not lonely. Why wouldn't you give him the $10? I just took it out and handed it to him. I could give it to him. They want the other 8, they can have it too. And then they said, well, we want to go on with revival. Brother Randall's here. What's wrong with them preaching the rest of it? And so my brother said, well, would you preach on Sunday? Yeah, I'll do that. I preached on this Sunday. They give me $40, $50. I don't know, wasn't a lot. But every bit of it. So I had money enough to go, but I told God when I get the $10, I said, God, you said you'd return it 100-fold. That's $1,000 I'm looking for. I'm believing. I responded to you. Now I expect you to do what you said you would do. And the last night of the revival, a friend of mine came to me and he said, Brother Randalls, how much is your car payment? I said, $99. He said, God spoke to me tonight, told me to pay it. He said, give me a check for $99. I told God, I said, the furniture belonged to me. I worked for it. So that's not in the bargain. I'm expecting $1,000 return. I said, thank you, God. That's 10% right there. He got a $100 check. I had plenty of money to go to Wallace. I went to Wallace and I preached 2 weeks in revival. They gave me $365 for the 2 weeks. And I said, God, I worked for that. I worked for that. So that's not in the bargain. The last night of the revival, a man with the name Clyde Duval, he just passed away this year. He told the pastor and me in front of the pastor, so the pastor didn't know. He said, I want to talk to you when the service is over. And so Brother Melvin, that's the grandpa to Brother Rick Melvin, or Rick Payton. He said, I want to talk to Brother Randalls. And so he said, when the service is over, Clyde wants to talk to you. So you guys turn out the lights and lock the door and come on over. A friend of mine told me to write you. He said, I wasn't too sure that it was God, but God so in the night in this service, I know it's God. He wrote the check, gave it to me out of the pocket, and he looked at it. We went over to Parsons, I took it out in $9. God returned $1,000 for 10. I'm telling you tonight, that God, we're serving a God in heaven. A friend of mine, he can do miracles. How do you influence those around about you? A friend of mine, we were sitting in the living room there in Wallace, and we could see the freeway. It's just only about 50 yards from us. And this brand new car was went down the freeway, come over on the side road, come back, pulled in the driveway. I met the guy. He said, are you the pastor of that church? I said, yes. He took out his wallet, took out some money, and he to me. He said, I was going down the freeway 65 miles an hour, and the Holy Ghost spoke to me and said, go back and get that pastor of that church all the past money you got on you. And he said, so I come back and here it is. And I said, well, the Lord bless you. Wasn't very much, but I said, he said he already has. He said, I was on a business trip in Coeur d'Alene, and now I'm on my way back to Minnesota. I go to the Assembly of God Church. A friend of mine said, oh, I feel God in this place tonight. You can affect those around you. God, what God was showing me, He only gave me $7.50, but God was showing me I can talk to somebody going 65 miles an hour down the freeway to come and help you out. A friend of mine, you think I can answer your prayer? Oh, glory to God. I can talk to people. Oh, I feel the Lord in this place tonight. Praise God. I was sitting across the desk from a lawyer, and I've mentioned it before. But our life needs to affect those round about us. How do we rub off on them? How do we come across to them? And my daughter She needed a lawyer bad. She had raised this little boy up to about so, and they were taking him away from her. And she wasn't much she could do about it. And we went to the lawyer, and we asked him to help us. He went over the case, and he said, "Don't have a chance." He said, "You can't win." It was out of the other court was out of Arkansas. And that judge was known to do stuff that was against, he should have been prosecuted himself. And he says, "You can't win." I'm sitting there praying for him. All at once he looked at my daughter and he said, "You know what?" He said, "I don't know what it is, but I feel something coming from your dad to me back and forth." I said, "I'd be happy to tell you, sir, what it is. It's been over 45 years of serving God, and let the Holy Ghost move, and you're feeling the presence of the Holy Ghost." He looked at my daughter and said, "Not because I think you can win, but because you're dead, I'm going to take your case." You know what? We won easy. God, he went to a federal judge, talked to him, told him the circumstance, and they told him down in Arkansas, that kid belongs to her. She still belongs to her. Oh, Holy Ghost, God, have your way here tonight. No word of God, busy about her. That's who you pray. I feel his presence. Father, God, I don't know why you give me this message. And I don't know what's on the hearts of those here tonight, God. But I know you're the God of heaven, and I know I feel your presence. I know, God.